day, everyone. Today, the presentation and discussion of the study's findings is a critical sections of research reporting where the result of the study are systematically shared, analyzed, and interpreted. This section not only present the data collected but also explore the meaning and implications of the findings in relation to the research objectives, hypotheses, and existing literature. Through careful presentations and thoughtful discussions, the researcher provides evidence-based insights, highlights key patterns or relationship, and demonstrate how the study contributes to knowledge, practice, or policy in the relevant field. Good day, future nurses. Good day, researcher. Our topic for today, it talks about the presentation and discussion of study findings. Our learning objectives is to summarize the parts of a presentation of findings, explain the discussion of findings, study hypotheses and statistical and clinical significance. We also tackle to describe the purpose of conclusion, implications, and recommendations. And also explain the discussion of finding hypothesis and statistical clinical significance. What are the purpose of conclusion, implication, and recommendation for research studies, and summarize the parts of our presentations of finding. Presentation of study findings typically combines both narrative descriptions and tables to communicate results clearly and effectively. Tables are useful for summarizing complex data and allowing readers to see patterns, trends, or comparison at a glance. However, according to the APA publication manual, a table is unnecessary if the narrative text already discusses and explains every item contained in the table. Using both formats thoughtfully ensure that findings are organized, accessible, and easy to interpret. The findings of quantitative study are presented as empirical data or facts derived from the analysis of the collected data. These findings provide an objective representation of what the study revealed. Descriptive statistics are commonly used to summarize and describe the characteristic of the sample, as well as to present the main result in a clear and organized manner. This approach ensures that the study outcomes are evidence-based and easily interpretable. The narrative presentation of the findings should be clear and concise. In qualitative studies, the narrative predominates, often incorporating direct quotes from the participants and discussing patterns and themes that emerge from the data. In qualitative study, the narrative is used to present the data that support or fail to support each hypothesis, and it should include details such as statistical test use, test result, and degrees of freedom and probability, which is the p-values. This approach ensures that the findings are comprehensible, transparent, and well supported by the data. Tables are an effective means of organizing data and presenting it in a way that is easily understood and interpreted. A table is composed of columns, rows, and cells, where cells are the boxes formed at the intersection of our rows and columns. To provide complete information, a footnote should accompany the table, including its statistical test use, degrees of freedom, and probability value. Properly constructed tables help readers quickly grasp the key result while maintaining clarity and accuracy. Figures refer to any type of visual presentations other than a table, including graphs, diagrams, line drawings, and photographs. They are particularly useful for presenting demographic data or other informations that benefits from a visual representations, making patterns, trends, and relationships easier to understand at a glance. Well-designed figures enhance the clarity and impact of the study's finding. So these are the examples of pie graph, and then we have your bar graph. The discussion of findings and their significance is more subjective sections than the presentation of results. It allows the researcher to interpret the findings, explaining their meaning and implications. This section also compares the result with the previous research and theoretical frameworks, noting areas of agreements and disagreements. Additionally, it includes a report on study limitations, but it's not intended to focus on every flow of the study. The discussion emphasizes the importance, relevance, and contribution of the findings to knowledge, practice, or policy. Conclusions highlights the knowledge gained from the study and connect back to the research problem, purpose, hypothesis, and theoretical framework. The researcher should consider the sample size and the population from which the sample was drawn. While findings are concrete and tied to a specific data, conclusions are more abstract and generalized, going beyond the immediate result. In quantitative research, the generalization of finding is often a key goal, but it must be approached with caution as extending result beyond the studied sample can be risky and requires careful justifications. Implication provides the researcher an opportunity to be creative in interpreting the meaning of the study conclusions. They describe what should happen next or recommend actions based on the findings. Common implications includes call for further research in the subject area or specific changes in the practice, policies, or procedure derived from the study's conclusions. Ideally, for every conclusions, there should be at least one corresponding implications linking the study's result to meaningful future actions or investigations. Recommendations from the final section of a research report and provide guidance for future research. They may propose the replication of the study, which involve conducting a study similar to the previously done, or a new study that addresses the limitations of the current research. Recommendations can also suggest a logical extension of the present study, helping to expand knowledge in the field and guide the future investigations. Communication and utilizations of nursing research. Researchers can communicate the result of their study in two main ways, by talking about them and by writing about them. So example, by talking about them, presentations, seminars, and conferences. By writing, journal articles, reports, and policy briefs. While researchers hold the primary responsibility for sharing the findings, other nurses and nursing organizations also have a role in disseminating the knowledge to ensure it reaches practitioners, policymakers, and the broader community. Effective communications help to translate research into practice, policy, and further scientific inquiry. Preparing a research report involves creating a written or oral summary of the study. No research project is considered complete without a final research report, even if a verbal presentation is planned. The report should be clear, accurate, and concise, presenting the result in an interesting and informative manner. While it's not meant to be humorous or entertaining, it should also avoid being dull, effectively communicating the study's finding, significance, and implication to the intended audience. When preparing a research report, it should be presented in order of the research process, reflecting the logical progression of the study. Most of the report is written in the past tense, since the study has already been conducted. However, hypotheses and conclusion are typically written in the present tense, and implications and recommendations are directed toward the future, guiding future or further research, practice, or policy. This careful use of tense helps clearly convey the timing and relevance of each part of the report. When presenting research result at a professional conference, journal publication is often the first considerations. However, publication can be delayed 2 years or more. Presentation at conference allow for more rapid dissemination of findings to the professional community. Research result can be shared at conferences in two main ways: through oral presentation, where the researcher speaks directly to an audience, and poster presentation, which visually summarize the study and facilitate discussion with attendees. This method helps quickly communicate findings, promote professional dialogue, and gather feedback. There are many opportunities for researchers to present study results at professional conference, nursing organization, nursing school, regional nursing association, and large medical center often sponsor research seminars and conferences. Researchers typically submit a call for abstract, which is a request for a summary of the study they wish to present. Each conference or seminar provides specific guidelines for submission and presentation. Generally, individuals selected to present do not receive payments and are responsible for their own travel and related expenses, highlighting the professional and voluntary nature of the conference participations. Presenting a research paper at a professional conference, often called an oral or paper presentations, offers several advantages over traditional journal publications. It allows researchers to share recent findings promptly and provides the opportunity to interact with peers who are interested in the same phenomena. The use of hangouts or audiovisual aids can enhance understanding and engagement. Typically, presenters are allotted 15 to 30 minutes, making it important to communicate the study's objective, methods, result, and implications clearly and concisely. Presenting a research poster is a visual method of sharing the results that allows a large number of people to view the findings in a short period of time. Research poster typically includes the research questions, hypotheses, description of the samples, methods, findings, and major conclusions. It often incorporates diagrams, graphs, and tables to summarize and illustrate key results. Poster representations provides an interactive format for discussing the study with conference attendees and receiving feedback in a concise, visually engaging way. Publishing a journal article involves preparing a concise summary of the research report, typically spanning to 10 to 15 type pages. The format and section may vary depending on the journal's requirements. Most journal article includes key components such as introductions, review of related literature, methods, finding, and discussions. These structures allow researchers to communicate essential aspects of their study and clearly and efficiently to the scientific community. When publishing a journal article, selecting this appropriate journal is critical. One factor to consider is the impact factor, a number used to evaluate the influence of a journal. A higher impact factor indicates that the journal is considered more influential within the scientific community based on how frequently its articles are cited. Another consideration is H-index, which reflects an author's impact by comparing the number of articles in which their work has been cited to their total numbers of publications. These metrics help researchers choose journals that maximize visibility, credibility, and impact of their work. When publishing a journal article, researcher must decide between referred or non-referred journals. Referred journals involves evaluation of the manuscript by subject expert chosen by the editorial, ensuring rigorous peer review. In contrast, non-referred journal relies on editorial staff or consultant who are not necessarily content expert. Peer review refers to an evaluation by professional colleagues who are expert in the content or methodology of the study. This process may be blind, where reviewers are unaware of the author's identity, or open, where the reviewers sign their comments, providing transparency and accountability in the review process. When publishing a journal article, researcher may begin by sending a query letter to the journal. The purpose of the query letter is to determine the journal's interest in the manuscript before full submission. It typically contains a brief outline of the manuscript and key information about the study, such as its purpose, significance, and major findings. A well-prepared query letter can increase the likelihood of acceptance and guide the journal editor in evaluating whether the manuscript fits the journal's scope and audience. When publishing a journal article, manuscript may be rejected for several reasons. The most common reason is that the manuscript was poorly written, make it difficult to understand or evaluate. Other reasons includes the topic was not relevant to the journal's focus, the methodology had flaws, or the manuscript was considered too short or superficial. It is important to note that rejection does not necessarily mean the study is of poor quality. It may reflect issues such as fit with the journal, clarity, and or presentation, which can often be addressed and improved for future submission. Thesis and dissertation are formal means of communicating research studies conducted to fulfill educational requirements. Dissertations typically focuses on refining existing theories or generating new theories, contributing to the original knowledge to the field. In contrast, a thesis is usually designed to test existing theories, applying them to the specific research problems or contexts. Both serve as important academic documents that demonstrate the researcher's competence and understanding of the research methodology and subject matter. Nurses should be able to justify the decisions they make, and they are the care they provide based on the evidence. Study finding must be implemented in nursing practice to ensure care is effective, safe, and up to date. Utilizations of research finding goes beyond simply knowing the results. It involves applying the evidence of clinical decision making, adapting intervention to specific patient needs, and continuously evaluating outcomes to improve the quality of care. Additional barriers to nursing research utilization include inadequate dissemination of research findings and situations where the findings are not ready for use in practice. When research results are not effectively communicated to practicing nurses, they cannot be applied to patients' care. Similarly, some studies may produce findings that are preliminary, context-specific, or require further validations, making them unsuitable for immediate implementations. Overcoming these barriers is essential to ensure that the research translates into meaningful improvements in nursing practice. An abstract is a concise summary of the study, typically 150 to 250 words in length. It should provide a brief overview of the problems under the investigations or the study purpose, the participants, and the essential features of the study method. Additionally, it should summarize the basic findings as well as the conclusions and implication of the research. A well-written abstract allows reader to quickly understand the scope, significance, and outcomes of the study. These are the references if you want further understand in terms of presentations of the findings of the study. In conclusion, the discussions wrap up the summarizing the key insights and contributions of the study. It emphasizes the relevance of the findings to the fields, highlights any limitations, and points toward future research or practical applications. Uh, this study provides a final reflection that reinforces the significance of the study and leaves the reader with a clear sense of its impact and value. So that's it for our discussions, and thank you for listening.